Hello everyone, now I'm here with my next topic of functions overloading. In this, I want to tell you something about how we are going to overload a function. But first of all, why we are using this concept? Because in OOPS we are having one principle that is polymorphism. And for applying that concept, we have to apply this technique that is function overloading and see something about polymorphism. First of all, we have to concentrate on that the first point is one of the oops principle it is, and the second point, the process of using one function used for multiple purpose. We are going to use one function for a multiple purpose. And see the third point, the function overloading is a technique which apply polymorphism in Java. Actually, this technique, by using this technique, we are going to apply a polymorphism in Java. And see why we are using this concept, because from the personal life they are picking the concept. If we are having one person, means for example we are having our dad, that person is going to have a different qualities for different areas. First of all, he is a boy, then doing job for us, then doing different meetings, and for collecting or going for market, have quality time for your family. The one person have different tasks. In the same way, our mothers doing so many things for us, means one person have multitask. That's why overloading occurs from the concept they are taking. And see the types of polymorphism is in front of us, that is compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. Both are the types of polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism, also known as early binding, and we can say static binding, and runtime polymorphism, also known as late binding, or we can say dynamic binding. Actually, in compile time polymorphism, we are having functions, we are creating functions, we are calling functions, and one function have different tasks. And that time, when we are going to compile that function, we have to check whether the function is created as properly written or not, the function name is proper or not, the parameters were proper or not. All these things were checking in the time of compile time. Then that is compile time binding. And basically compile time polymorphism, when they're checking that the same parameters were existing or not, exactly what we are trying to do is applied or not during compile time. Then that is compile time polymorphism, means early binding or static binding. Matching function signature with the function prototype, they are matching function signature with the function prototype, whether what we are asking or what we are calling that function is going to be called or not. The checking that the parameters what we are sending is actually existing or not. If it exists, which one we are calling. Basically, it is going to confirm that everything is written it properly or not. Otherwise, we are getting a compile time error. If the function signature is not matched with the function prototype, we are getting compile time error. The same thing is in runtime also. When we are having one function name with in one class and another function in another class, and we are going to inherit it, in that time base class and derived class both are having the same function, then overriding occurs. But in overloading, case of overloading, same class have the same function, same class have one function for more than one purpose with different parameters. But in this video, I'm going to concentrate on overloading only. Later on, we will discuss about overriding. If you are not able to understand, let it be. When I am taking the concept inheritance, then I'm going to tell you about overriding in detail. Now in this video, I'm going to focus on overloading. Basically, function of overloading is, read the first point, go with the flow what I am telling you. Function overloading is the process of defining function or method with the same function name. Function name should be same. Just remember few things. The important point for you all. Function name should be same. Then only function loading occurs. But the parameter should be different. Then only compiler can understand which function you want to run. Otherwise, you are writing the same function name with the same parameter, then the next parameter never works. See, if I am writing some int a comma int b, and again I had created one more, some int m comma int n. Function name is same, parameters int. Parameters also same. Variable doesn't matter. Variable can be different. It doesn't matter. What we have to focus on, the data type. Both the function have the data type int and int. These were the consequences. How you are going to understand which one we want to run. Either this one or this one. That's why the function name should be same, but parameters should be different. If you are using int, then create it as float int or int float or float. Something should be different. In this way, the compiler can understand or run it for you. Compiler is going to understand and never display any error, and a process is going to be run easily. If you are doing this, parameters were different, then no problem will be occurred. And see, the second point, function overloading is an example of static polymorphism, and the polymorphism that is resolved during compile time. I told you earlier in the previous slide, this is basically a static polymorphism. This is example of static polymorphism basically. The third point, in this feature, a class is allowed to have two or more than two functions of same name but the different parameters. See, for the example, I'm taking that we are having area. We can have area of circle, we can have area of square, we can have area of rectangle, and we can have area of triangle. All are having the concept that is area, but the function should be different. Area of circle is pi r square, area of square is side into side, area of rectangle is length into breadth, and area of triangle is half into base into height. All are having the different tasks, but what is same? Name is same, but the tasks were different. This concept I am going to apply with the help of program. See, in this program, I am taking the name function overloading because the name should be similar to the task what we are doing. And see, the function name I am taking area. Area for square, area for circle, area for rectangle, and area for triangle. See, the parameters were different. Match it? Each and every one were different. But the function name, see, all the function name was same, but the parameters were different. Then only function loading occurs. Otherwise, not. See, side into side. I'm taking radius, then pi r square. I'm taking it float. Otherwise, the concept compiler says precision means compiler thinks that the answer will be in double. That's why it converted into float, so that I'm not getting any error. And see, area length into breadth. That's why I'm writing length into breadth. I'm taking uh, B and H as base and height, and I want to differ both the cases. That's why I written in float. Otherwise, if I'm writing int, then this function never works, because it is a machine. That's why a machine always run first this, then second, then third. It is going in this way, and the first one always runs. That's why second one never runs. That's why we have to change the parameters. And see, I had written the formulas. Each and every formula I had written for areas, different work with we are doing with the same function name. This one is function overloading. And see, remember, these are non-static function. These are non-static function, and I want to call these function from the static function. That's why we have to create object of a class. That's why I written OB, and I'm moving further with the four non-static function, and I want to call them with the help of static function. See, always try to create switch cases for function overloading, because we are having different tasks, and we are not supposed to um, pressurize user to do each and every task. That's why I created switch case. I'm preferring switch case when I'm going to create function overloading. That's why I created menu. Menu means either area of square, area of circle, or rectangle, or triangle. Anyone, give that choice. Then I'm using switch case. And see, I'm asking for area of square. If somebody is interested in area of square, then I'm asking for side of square, and I want to find the area of square. That's why I'm asking for side of square. And see, again, what happened? I'm getting the side, I'm passing that side in area, and then what happened? S1 is passed inside S, and side into side occurs, and we are returning that side back. Where we are returning it back? In this position we are getting the answer ob dot area. It then I am receiving that in area 1, and I am displaying it. And see, the second one, now I want radius of circle. I'm storing that radius, then I'm passing it with the function. And again, when we are passing that function, the radius is received by r, and this one occurs, and we are returning the answer back to the calling function. This one is our calling function, and the answer is returned back to the area 2. That's why I'm displaying area 2. See, the variable was different, area 1, area 2, area 3, because we are not supposed to use the same variable in each of the cases, otherwise error occur. That's why I'm taking the different variables, so that we are not getting any errors. And see, third case, length and breadth we want of for finding the area of rectangle. That's why I'm receiving length and breadth, and I'm passing length and breadth from area. Then what happened? See, going to receive these values and returning it back, and we are getting our result back in this position, means AR3, area of rectangle we are going to display. And then what happens? See, last case is in front of us. We want base and height for the triangle. That's why I'm asking for base and I'm asking for height. But see, BA1 I'm writing, because if I'm writing B1 is already used. That's why I'm getting error. That's why I'm writing BA1 for base and H1 for height. And then I'm passing both of them and then see what happened. This function is going to receive both the values, and then logic, from this logic, half into base into height, we are getting our answer back to the calling function. And see what happened. This AR4 is going to receive it, and we are going to display that AR4. And by default, if something is written wrong, from one menu we are having only 1 2 3 4. If somebody provides us 5 or something else, we are going to display that you have entered wrong choice. And see, now our program is completed and we are having our output in front of us. Menu is displayed. See, then I'm asking that choice. Choice is 1, means I'm asking for side of square, and then I'm getting area of square. If I want to execute it again, then I entering choice, that is 3, and then I'm asking length and breadth, providing length and breadth, and then I'm getting area of rectangle. These are the ways to have function overloading in one class. And if you have any doubt, then ask. Otherwise, goodbye. Good luck.